The Dutch search team revealed today the exact location of where Jay Slater's body was found. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can hang out with me and Miss Gabby, the best private investigator on all of YouTube. The search team from the Netherlands just now on Facebook showed exactly where Jay Slater fell. You can see the cliff, the 500-foot cliff where he allegedly dropped, as well as their dog standing on the ledge of where they picked up his scent. The dog couldn't go down there because it was too steep, so they used a drone. So the Dutch search team accompanied the video with this caption, quote, "The team with the dogs picked up Jay's tracks at the Airbnb he had left and in the valley where the last phone ping was, just before the phone ran empty. By noon, the dogs took a rest to avoid the high temperatures. During that break, the message came in that a body had been found. Where was still unclear. It was later revealed that Jay had been tackled up by the helicopter. The goal now was to capture Jay's route as much as possible, so Jay's family could get more clarity about his final journey. The steep descent down was spared for the team because a drone captured the endpoint 20 meters away from them. The drone footage and the final coordinates were shown to the family in the evening in what was an emotional moment. The dogs brought some comfort at Jay's memorial." End quote. So that was written in Dutch and I translated it. So if I'm understanding this caption correctly, Jay's body was found by another team while the Dutch team were on break with the dogs. The search team from the Netherlands found the exact location by drone to bring some closure to the family and give more details to the family of where his body was found. The video itself shows the 500-foot drop, but it's still unclear who found the body. Christopher Pennington, a TikToker who was searching for Jay, later clarified, quote, "Jay was pulled out on Sunday morning before that team arrived. It took judicial police hours to recover the body using a Guardia Civil specialist team. They also recovered parts of the ground from around Jay to prove how long he'd been there. On Sunday afternoon, the forensic tests were conducted. The results of those tests were confirmed and released on Monday morning, hence the public announcement that remains were found." End quote. So this is very interesting to Gabby because this clarification aligns with the insider from Tenerife that said authorities received an anonymous tip-off on Saturday about the location of Jay's body, and then the announcement was made on Monday. So who this anonymous person who told authorities about the location of Jay's body still remains unclear. And honestly, if I'm just kind of being more of a conspiracy-minded person here, so don't take this as fact, is it possible that this anonymous person tipped off the Spanish authorities because they wanted the Spanish authorities to find Jay to hash a cover-up as opposed to a third-party source? Many cyber sleuths are questioning how Jay Slater's mother needs more money after her GoFundMe blew past her 30,000 pound goal. So Debbie Duncan's GoFundMe reached around 62,000 pounds last week, and in her most recent update said she was asking the public for more money to help give her son a great send-off. It has since been pushed to over 70,000 pounds, sitting around 72,000 pounds right now. But many people are questioning why she needed that much money. Debbie later clarified that 52,000 pounds went to the search team as reported by The Sun and her alleged private Facebook account. So was this misinformation published by The Sun? And a cyber sleuth went as far as to email the search team themselves, and the Dutch search team contradicted her statement, saying that they were only paid for the cost of flying, accommodation, and transport, which is probably more around 6,000 pounds. And if you go to the Dutch search team's website, it actually says that they do these services, searching with their dogs, for free. The head of the charity that is assisting Jay Slater's family said that repatriation costs would be around 20,000 pounds. but a quick Google search said it's more in the range of 3,500 to 4,000 pounds. So the CEO of LBT Global, Matthew Searle, who is assisting Jay Slater's family, is slamming trolls for giving misleading tips in the search of Jay Slater, but it sounds to me like he isn't being overly transparent in how they're spending these funds. Because everyone is unsure where there's been a major expense where Debbie would need more money. Debbie, in a Facebook post, later contradicts herself, writing, quote, "Nor did we ask for a penny," end quote. The Airbnb host and one of the last people to see Jay Slater alive, Ayub Kasim, broke his silence on TikTok and began posting about his recent travels. Not once did he share his condolences for Jay and his family. And many people have questions, including why wouldn't he call Jay a cab when Jay said he was going back to his hotel for Scran? And if Ayub knew Jay was out in the mountains with his phone dying and bitten by a cactus, his words, why wouldn't he try to go look for him? People are pointing out that his posts almost seem celebratory, including this one, which some people thought was more nefarious sounding, writing, quote, "You coming for the wrong guy." So one person writes, quote, "So if not you, who? You say you're coming for the wrong guy. Why would there be any guy if it was all just an accident?" End quote. There's a ton of things that don't add up with Ayub's story. He told Daily Mail him and Jay all went back to his Airbnb in Masca to party, yet they all went straight to bed. That Jay couldn't charge his phone because there was no outlets in the B&B. But the photos prove that there were outlets for him to charge his phone. So why wasn't Jay's phone charged? And why wouldn't Jay just get water and food at Ayub's Airbnb? Ayub also said he received a call about Jay being cut by a cactus, but the only person who knew that information was Lucy. You know, Lucy, the one that Jay was sharing a hotel with. And Lucy said she didn't know Ayub. So how did Lucy know Ayub's number to give him that information? So Jay was allegedly wearing a blanket from Lucy's hotel in his final photo at the B&B, and there are allegedly painted toenails in the photograph. Also, the Airbnb recently painted the steps, and many people think they can see blood splatter in his final photograph. And there's a theory going around that Jay was actually unalived when he went to the B&B because there's also flies at the B&B when someone went to it on TikTok. And how can we forget that report from one of Jay's friends that Jay took knives with him to the B&B because he was scared? So a forensic university student that has credentials in fingerprinting explains that the fingerprints on Jay's body would be impossible to retrieve in the Tenerife climate because it would be too hot and his body would be decomposing. So how is this even possible to identify him through fingerprints?
In Jay Slater's case, the longest window of opportunity to be able to obtain useful data from biometrics or fingerprints or the PMI in the warm conditions like it was in Tenerife is up to 4 days. It's either not him and they're all lying to save tourism, or it's not him and those two guys ended his life before his family knew about it and were told to keep quiet, or it is him, but he must have passed away no more than a week ago to be formally identified that way, or it's not him, he's still alive somewhere and the whole thing's been a hoax.
So yeah, even the mainstream media is sharing a lot of misinformation in this case, but it kind of takes a darker turn right now because if I'm just being my conspiracy-minded self, it turns out that it's going to be a lot worse than I thought it could ever get in terms of this potentially being a cover-up because, like, as I said, the independent search team from the Netherlands weren't the ones to find Jay's body. Instead, it was the Spanish police who are, in my opinion, could be very highly corrupt and could be working with the, underground criminals in that area. So it says here, Jay Slater's mom given harrowing warning after tragic teen's autopsy results. So listen to this. Grieving mom, Debbie Duncan, was reportedly given a harrowing warning after results of Jay's autopsy, which will only have added to her heartache. The Mail Online reports that the Slater family were advised against viewing Jay's body in the morgue, and so were unable to seek the closure many bereaved families find in such viewings. So again, like, they're not allowing the family to see his body. I mean, right now, there's just one strange thing happening in this case after another. Many cyber sleuths feel that Jay might have been placed there or met a more nefarious end, such as being, pushed off the cliff. Not saying that he was, but that's what everybody's saying online. And how would the autopsy necessarily know that difference? I find it strange that the Dutch team weren't the ones to find Jay, and Jay was actually found on Sunday before the media reported it. The Spanish police said they called off the search. Remember that. So why would the Spanish police all of a sudden go back on search to search for him the day before the Dutch team arrived and found the body, unless they received an anonymous tip? Which begs the question, who was this anonymous tipster that the insider was talking about? Are they the ones that really know the truth of what happened to Jay? Because remember, Jay's family and friends believed that Jay was kidnapped from the get-go, and they, along with the public, thought this entire case stinks. And now Jay is found and airlifted away before anyone else can see him, and now the body cannot be viewed by their own family. And mainstream media keeps putting out this idea that Jay was just going through this treacherous terrain to get to the beach because his hotel was also on the beach, so Jay most likely thought it was the path of least resistance by climbing down this mountain towards the beach. But really, that doesn't make any sense to me because Jay could have easily have just taken the highway, and also Jay was walking in the wrong direction. It almost seemed like to me, Jay was hiding or running from something or someone in his final moments. Sadly, I don't think we will ever get the answers like in the Nicola Bully case, but hopefully the family will get some closure. Rest in peace, Jay. And if we learn anything from this story, please don't leave your friends alone, especially in a foreign place. I mean, it's so heartbreaking to me that this was Jay's first trip away from his family and it ended in such a tragedy. So hopefully we can learn something from this. And if you're in a position to do so, I will link the family's GoFundMe in the description below. All my sources for this video are there as well, so you can check them out for yourself. And of course, what do you guys think? Sound off in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting my face right here.